So sorry about that, guys. I hope you guys have come back. When Martha talked about GB YouTube, then my YouTube started misbehaving, froze, and then went off. Yeah, but so 10 to 15 million. What else are you going to buy? Where? $10 to 15 million. 10 to 15 million. I'm holding on to see how many people actually come back. My phone, because of the heat, the YouTube app froze. Lero Katale, you guys, do you remember this Butale wa Muburo? You see the UBE, abantu bavuga bubye motoka bannange. Ogirabye UBE eringa gyasibya ku miggo. So Katale ka Muburo, you guys, do you remember these things? Me, I remember when I was growing up in Kabowa, they had Katale ka Muburo every Tuesday. And I'm from the generation that bought hey Nana, the generation that bought scanner radios at 3,000 shillings. I'm from that generation. So twagendanga muno butale bw'omuburo and we would buy things. So simanya abana b'ennaku zino oba biki bye bagula. Yeah, but we used to buy scanner radios. But it's very hot. I don't know how these guys are managing. They don't have umbrellas or tents or something. It's very hot. So before my app froze, I don't know why things are happening, but the app froze probably because of the heat. Where? Hurry. So we are talking about cars that you can buy. So we are talking about cars that you can buy for between 10 to 15. So you guys, Monsanyo Kireko, my son has been in the hospital. He has been sick. Abadde ku machupa for 2 days. We have been sleeping in the hospital, but now we are back and he looks healthier. When I took him, yaita na kuyimirira, but now he's okay. So cars between 10 to 15. I've talked about the Toyota Kruger. You can get it. I cannot guarantee which number plate you'll get, but you'll get it. I've also talked about the Harrier, and I've talked about both Harriers. I've talked about the Harrier, the new model, the Kaundo, and I've said that although I tell you you'll get a Kaundo, I cannot guarantee which number plate you will get. But you can get a Kaundo U80 UAM at around 13, 14, 15, 16, yeah? But we are stopping at 15. Yeah, you can get a Kaundo at that amount. You can get Martha. You see, I'm even holding the phone with a cold Chuero. Samsung phones can decide to disappoint. Yet, I wouldn't trade it for an iPhone. Samsung, first of all, has the best camera. Yeah. So now I'm holding it with a cold Chuero to make sure it doesn't overheat. You know, I think you know the heat that is in Kampala right now. Let me see what temperature Micah is telling me that we have today. Yeah, outside temperature. Micah can actually tell you the outside temperature. So Micah is telling me we have 31 degrees centigrade outside, so it's very hot. On a normal day in Uganda, we normally have about 24 degrees centigrade. So it's too hot. So my phone froze, everything froze, and then it went off. And when I came back, I just couldn't go back to the same stream. So I had to create a new stream. So we were talking about the cars that are between 10 to 15. And we say you can get a Kruger, you can get Kaundo, you can get the Harrier. You know the Harrier has two models. There's a Harrier old model, ordinary, and then there's a super. You can get both of those for between 10 to 15. You don't feel good, Abba? Yeah. Don't worry, we're going to get home. I'm going to put AC. So, and we talked about the newer. You can also get a newer model. I cannot guarantee the number plate, but you'll get a new model as well. Then we talked about the Spacio, new model. the Raum new model. When you get 10 million, stop looking at any old model car, be it Primo, be it Spacio. Don't look at any of those old model cars. Okay, 10 to 15, you can get a very good Alex as well. Someone was asking me about IST. You can get the IST old model. Yeah, of course, you could get a new model depending on the problems the owner has, depending on the problems the car has. You can get a Wish, very good condition still, and the Wish, it will be in UB series. Yeah, you can get a Primo, old new model, and that one will be in an old number plate though. UAT, it will be UA. Okay, if you get a UB, then you will pinch yourself that you're lucky. Yeah, then you can get a Fielder as well. Now with the Fielder, you can even get a 2006, 2007 model, depending on the problems the owner has or the problems the car has. You know, some of these things, some of these buying, some of the times that we buy, it comes with luck. How lucky are you at the time of purchase? If you're lucky, you can even get a car from the bond at a very cheap price. You get. I know someone that told me they... Really? Can you hold on? Yeah, you hold on. So he bought a Toyota Rush. You know the Rush is very highly priced. Market value is 42. You're dying?
Yeah.
You open and do there.
Open.
You open the door.
The door?
Yeah, open the door.
Okay.
Use this. That.
This one?
Yes, then pull it. Pull it like this.
Like this?
Let me show you. That. Put on your sandals and just do that. So he bought a Rush at 38 million, but the market for the Rush is 45. Yeah, like that. So and that was a bargain, by the way, because in the current condition that he has it, someone would easily buy it from him at 40 million. You get, because they would move to all the bonds, find it at 45, and then he says I want 40, and they would buy it. So the price you buy is dependent on so many things apart from just the car. So the things I'm telling you are not written in concrete. Simatekaga Musa or Moses. Yeah, it can change anytime. So I said the Wish would be a UB series. Yeah, you can get a Raum. The Raum will also... Okay, the way the prices of cars are going now, you may not get a Raum UB series, but it will be a good number plate. Okay, not BUBM, but you can get a UBA probably. You'll get a Sienta. The Sienta still might be a UB series. Okay. You'll get a Ractis. Not very current number plate, but still a new number plate. And the Sienta will be in good condition still. For 10 to 15 million, you have a multitude. Subarus, you can get, like I said, you can get a multitude of Subarus between 10 to 15 million. Very many Subarus you can get. 10 to 15 million. You can get those Nissan sedans that we are constantly talking about. The Tiena, the Nissan Tida, the Nissan Caravan, Nissan Serena in good condition. The El Grand, I don't recommend you buy an El Grand even when you get it at a bargain. Yeah, but you can get a lot of those cars and they will still be in good condition. Yeah, but of course there are cars I will not recommend that you buy. Why? Because some of those cars are problematic, and it's proven that they are problematic. But I told you already, some of the problems these cars have are not because the cars themselves are problematic. It's just that the mechanics don't know what to do with these cars. Ontegeera emotoka ejja neegaana buganyi bamakanika nga tebamanyi gikola, and they start running away from it. And when they start running away from it, it means they will not actually get the expertise they need to be able to fix it in case of a problem. So the cars, you'll find that all the cars in that model will continue having problems. And that happens with majority of Nissan cars. It happens with Mazda. Yeah, but if you have a mechanic that can actually fix a Mazda for you, buy it and enjoy it. Yeah, but majority of people have problems with those cars, and the cars are not the problem. You'll find that It's normally the mechanics that cannot fix these cars. So you can get a lot of Mazdas, okay? And I find that Mazda has some of these, especially the 2000cc cars, they are very well designed. The same thing with Nissan, the same thing with Mitsubishi. Yeah, they have tried so much to design their cars very well. Something that Toyota has failed to do. Yeah, and I said you can also get a Mitsubishi L200. You can get a Land Cruiser, the Prados, you know, those sexy Prados. You can also get the Prados that are not sexy, the manly Prados. Yeah, you can also get them. Although I cannot guarantee which number plate you'll get, but you can get one in good condition. Still 10 to 15 million, you can get a Super Custom. Yeah, although the Super Custom, I normally tell people to get Super Customs when I'm going to use them for business. Because once a Super Custom starts dying, you'll regret that you bought it, why you bought it. And I don't want any of my followers say watching Nagulene Motoka, watching Nagulene Motoka. While we at that, a follower of mine came back from abroad, and he has access to a car from a friend. And this car had got some issues with the braking system. It's a very common issue with new ones. Even other cars get the same problem, but with new ones it's very common. The braking system jams. It's just a hard braking system to work on for the Toyota Nua, especially the old models. And for us that know that problem exists, it's not really an issue. It can happen from anywhere. All you have to do is find a good mechanic that can actually fix it. So he borrows this car from his friend, and he replaces the brakes like a good friend, because when you take someone's car back for value, because takujeko sente. So he bought new brakes, front brakes, and ezema veganagamba makanika muzirege mu kulegamu is like tightening. So they do it, and along the way he's driving on a main road, and the brakes jam. The back brakes, they jammed. Now they jammed once. He got someone to fix them. He got a mechanic in that area to fix them, and the car moved for some time. Now and then they jammed again. Yeah, they jammed again. Now this time it happened in front of a traffic officer, and I think my friend even got fined. So he got very angry. The next time he texted me, he was telling me, Arthur, I want a new car now. I asked him what was the problem. So when he said it has a problem, I actually thought it was going to be a very big problem, like over the engine blew, over the gearbox blew or something. It was just the brake jams. So the brakes jamming is a very common thing. My brakes jam. Yeah, the last time, because for the brakes jamming, it simply means the mechanic either didn't focus, or hi Betty, or the mechanics just didn't know what he was doing. Yeah. So if the brakes jam, and they can jam with any car, especially the cars that have drums on the back tires, the back wheels, because some cars, especially the race cars, if you go for the Toyota Vitz RS, you got some of those Terranos, the Mitsubishi Challengers, you'll find that in the back they don't have drums, they have discs. Now the disc brakes never jam, but the drum brakes, they actually jam. It happens. So I tell the guy, you know what, that's a common problem. Even when you buy a new car, it can happen. That problem, the Nuas are just problematic cars to work on the braking system. And I think I hope you understood, because you buying a new car because the car you had jamming braking systems is you solving a temporary problem with a permanent solution. You get, it's like you say, that's a very bad thing for you to do. So, and I can say it, and I was having a conversation with one of my friends who had just bought a new car last week, I think, from the Bond, and he was telling me that one of the reasons he bought this new car was because he doesn't want to go through the discomfort of going to the garage to fix things. And I've done the math for you guys before, and I've told you that the math does not add up. If the only reason you're buying a new car is to not go to the garage, that's poor mathematics. You get, sometimes it doesn't take 2 days to fix stuff, even if they take a long time. You get. And also, I'm driving an old car, and the only thing I change are bushes. You saw the video I uploaded yesterday when I was fixing the bushes, the suspension system, and I used 130,000. And from 130,000, I even got myself a full tin of grease. So this was 10k. So in actual sense, I gave those guys 120 to buy the bushes and fixing all those ball joints and all to make them work the way I want them to work. You get? And I find that to be very affordable, looking at the fact that I'm going to drive those things for about 6 months without repairing. Sometimes if you drive properly, you can even drive them for a year without touching them again. You get what I'm saying? So if it takes me 130,000 to fix those things every couple of months, this car serves me. It gives me 85 kilometers a day. For me, I find that it works properly. So if I were driving from Tinda to Bukoto, probably I'll not be repairing the things I'm repairing. So the math adds up. So if you have, for example, 20 million, yes, the comfort of driving a UBB, a UBM is there. But after that, then what? You get what I'm saying? It's like what these sheikhs and priests keep telling men. Omukazi eyekorako mulungi. But after that, then what? You get, omukazi eyekorako mulungi. But after that, then what? You get what I'm saying? You need to get a woman that will complete your life. Because a woman is not a flower that you put in the sitting room. This is a companion. Your car is going to be a companion that you buy to serve you. Okay? So if you buy the car simply for the comfort of sitting in a garage, okay, simply for the comfort of I find that for me it doesn't really add up. You get? No problem. If you can afford it and you feel it's what you want, buy it. But it's important for you to understand that Bintu Biansi, you get what I'm saying? It doesn't you need to buy a new thing when you really need it. For example, if it's for status, for your business to go on, you need to actually have a new car. For your clients to respect you, for you to get more customers, you need a UBM. Buy it, no problem. Okay, if it advances you. But today, like I was talking about to an old man, and he was telling me, in a way, his thinking felt like it's outdated, that okay, I can rent, and then because if I could get 40 million today, I can get 40 million tomorrow. You get, But in a way, he's right. In a way, he's right. Because why use 40 million to buy a car that can crash tomorrow or burn down? You get, it makes sense. Let me go back to my point of the cars we can get at 10 to 15 million. There are quite many, by the way. There are quite many. When we go to Mercedes-Benz, you can get the compressor. Actually, 10 to 15, you can even get an ML. You can get a Mercedes-Benz ML. You can not get a blue tech that Mabel likes, and most women like the blue tech. I don't know what they like about it. Well, let me tell you one thing. Those Mercedes-Benzes, they smell nice because most of the times the owners are driving windows up. Tebatera kugula wonda birwamu. Kati obuwowo bwayo busigala mu munda. Kati ffe tugula endabirwamu otuka ku tarmac, you open the window. Botuka ku kikubo ky'ettaka ekyenfuufu kati nga I'm going to start here. Ogala uno otandika SC. Kati wali kukola so obuwowo obwo bufuluma. And sometimes we drive even on Maram roads without putting the windows up, especially if we don't have cars that are going before us to Kubanfufu. You get? So 10 to 15 million. You can get the RAV4 new model. Someone was asking me, hi Steve. Someone was asking me, can I get a new model RAV4 if I have like 15 to 16 million? You can even get it between 10 to 15. I cannot guarantee the number plate, number, but normally I tell you don't look so much at the number plate. If you're satisfied with the car, look at the health of the engine, look at the health of the gearbox, how is the body, how is the interior, okay? Because now you have to also think when it gets to my time to upgrade, who will buy this car, okay? Unless you hope that by the time you upgrade, you'll be stinking rich. But if you want to upgrade and sell the one you have, then chances are high you want to look at the interior, look at the body, look at the tires, look at everything that will attract a buyer to buy this car from you. close Urban's door for me.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're going to start the AC now. Urban says it's hot. Yeah, this is mine. So cars we can get for 10 to 15 million. I said you could get you can even get a Land Cruiser, the Prado, eyabakyali enyirire ennyo gye baagala. Yeah, you can get the Land Cruiser that is not so pretty eri ey'abasajja naffe. Council units agenda kujja. We're going to have it soon. I'm going to make an announcement when we get we are going to be talking about insurance with council units the next time we meet. Yeah, we'll be talking about council insurance, both comprehensive, third party, the obligation. BlueTech is not, yeah, BlueTech is a brand of Mercedes-Benz. Yeah, but BlueTech is a brand in itself. So when they say BlueTech, I know it's like how you say VVTI. Yeah, but it's like it's a brand that has got the brand has got more attention than even the car itself. So if all the women say njagala BlueTech, who am I to dispute what they want? Yeah. So Samuel, thank you. Yeah, it's a technology. Olaba nga baga njagala VVTI, so it could be like that. Can I get a Ractis 2007 2008? Yes, Steve, you can get it naye yanguwa. Lwaki oyagala okwanguwa? It's because next year bagenda kuba batunda 2009. That's why cars are expensive. Every year that goes, emmotoka ezimu ze babadde batunda last year ziba tezikyajja. So if last year you were able to buy a Ractis at 22 million, then next year, if you don't find a 2008 model, ogenda kuba Ractis ogigula at 23 million. And it's not their fault. It's just a regulation by the government. It's a law, by the way. We cannot import cars that are more than 15 years. Yeah, and that makes cars expensive. I hope I'm clear. Yeah, hi, Michael. So you guys, thank you for being here. So I hope today I can take you on a tour of my village. Akara Matendo. Yeah, hopefully. So cars we can get for between 10 to 15. Some cars you'll get in almost new condition. Some cars you'll get used. But whether used or in new condition, I'll tell you that you can enjoy your car. There is a karibu that is coming behind these chigeges. Okaraba ka karibu ako. You might find that that man enjoys his karibu more than I enjoy my Corolla. And he will not exchange it. Yet his car is very old. But you know one thing that makes people enjoy. Urban, should I make it colder? So one reason that people enjoy their old cars is maintenance. When maintenance is cheap, people will enjoy their cars more than those that have new cars. You see that new one that is going across? Now that one you can get it at 13 million, 13 to 14, depending on where you buy it. If you find that the condition is not so pleasing, you can even get it at 12. You get? Yeah. So I said you can also get a fielder. It will not be a very current number plate, but you'll be able to get a fielder. We talked about RAV4, we talked about Harrier, both Kawundo and ordinary. Okay. We have a good school here, by the way, in Omucharo Chafe bagiyita Ranet. Even if you Google it, you will see the class above the ordinary. It's a very good school, by the way. So you can get the Cruiser as well. You can get new model. Subaru, you can get the Impreza. It might not be the latest Impreza. You'll get a Forester, not the very latest one, but you'll get a Forester in good condition still, because people upgrade every day, and not everyone that upgrades has a bad car. Some people upgrade when they have good cars, so they are just upgrading because it's part of life for us to upgrade. Whenever your money increases, you get better things. You get. I think those places, a 50 by 100 is at 6 million. Baba, you're lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself. In a wafe tolina ya milioni mukaaga. It's 34 kilometers from town. Let me tell you, my grandmother lives in Namayumba, 45 kilometers from town, and their plots are being sold at 18 million, 45 kilometers from town. Yeah. Ate si byapa, kati fene waffe tuli mu byapa. You buy, get your land title. You buy, you get your land title. It's the only thing that happens this way where we are is that you get off the main road for some time. Now, everyone has a reason for buying where they are. Personally, when we were buying where we live, we did not care about the distance. What we cared most about was the organization in the environment. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. We wanted to buy land in a place that will not grow to be a very bad slum later. You get? There are places where you buy land and it will become a very bad slum and you have to shift or take away mizigo. So the place where we bought is unlikely to happen. Because when you look at the neighborhood, that's why we bought land there. It's an estate, and in estates, most of the time it's unlikely that it will become a slum. Of course, our budget wasn't that high. Of course, but we like where we are. Yeah. Where we live, ataina motoka abona. You're seeing gardens? No, they're not gardens. These are just plots that people haven't sold. Some people buy plots nebazitereka nebalinda zirinye. You get? And of course, some sides people just don't buy there yet. Of course, kati ene waffe siye wabagagga. Abagagga babeera Kira, Najera, Chanja, Kisasi, Namugongo. Yeah, so, but not so bad. So cars we can get for between 10 to 15 million. Saga tonzija kumulama Muganda wange. Tonzija kumulamwa. Okarabe ka Stenseni. Saja yanjerega rina ngamba Arthur, that is not a town. That is a Stenseni. This is one of the Stenseni where we bantu mwe. Kale mukama ali basasula. Ka Stenseni akasoka kaako. By here where we are, this place is called Migade. If you people know your locations in Uganda, this is Migade on Bombo Road. This is a Migade Stensen. Yeah. But me, I don't live in Migade Stensen. This is just on my way home, so I'm still going. Yeah, so cars for between 10 to 15 million. Urban, you feel better? Yeah. So cars between 10 to 15 million. You have quite a choice. If you have 10 to 15 million, you buy a Wish that is a UB series. Okay, don't buy a US series. The people that will buy a Wish in US series will buy it 10 million and below. Okay? Don't let anyone tell you that Wish is a baying. The old models, of course, to gain an auto valvematic yomusajja n'omugamba oyagala gigula million 15. The valvematic will be quite expensive because it's new technology. It's a new year, of course. I think it's 2008. Yeah. Yes, my brother I just started in because with the started, I have to work harder. Yeah, with the started, I have to work harder because then I have to negotiate. We can go to a started in the million is Satu, and then it's my job to make sure that we actually buy it at 2 in whatever condition it is in. You get what I'm saying? So my minimum is 350 for inspection. Yeah, but of course most of the things that I inspect I've already told you on a YouTube channel. Sometimes if you find that it's expensive for you to give me the 350, you can go with the knowledge I've given you, then get a mechanic no more, and then because you know what to look for. Yeah, I think that makes sense. That's one of the reasons why I started this channel, so that I equip you guys with the knowledge you need to make sure that you don't make the mistakes that I and many people made when we were starting out. Yeah, so I think you have all the knowledge. That's how much I charge. Yeah. So guys, I also need you to know that 10 to 15 million is good money. It's very good money. 10 to 15 you can get a starlet. I mean, no. Toyota Vitz. You can get a Toyota Vitz. Eka yene waffe eyiku million 5 ku nkaaga. 50 to 60 million, depending on who you're buying from and whether the title is actually there. If the title is there, then that's a different thing. But most of the times, the people that buy acres here, the title is not there, so you give the person there 55 or 60 million, and then you proceed to make a title for yourself. Yeah. So at 10 to 15 million, you can get a Toyota Vitz, the old model. And remember, when we are talking about the Vitz, I have always told you, buy a 1.3cc or a 1.5. Don't buy a 1.0cc Toyota Vitz. It will be very problematic for you, and you will regret buying a Vitz sometime, because it's very weak. It's a weak car, and most of the times Vitzes car, and young people sometimes like speed. You will not go for a function and you leave your sisters there. You'll want to give them a lift. You don't want a weak car. So 1.3, 1.5cc. So you can buy a Toyota Vitz, both new and old model. Of course, that might be in the US series. If by chance you get a UB series, good for you. But if you get a UB series in a Toyota Vitz at between 10 to 15 million, check it with your life, because it's unlikely that you'll get a Vitz in UB series at that. You see how you can get a Wish for between 10 to 15 with a UB series. You cannot get a Vitz. Bojifuna, I'm not saying you can't, but your chances are can't. Yeah, but between 10 to 15 you can get those. You can get a new and old model. But as if most tires are so worn out. At Kakati, Grace, I want you to know one thing. If you're going to buy a Starlet, you're not buying a car that you're going to drive for 10 years. Majority of the time, I encourage people to buy the Starlet only and only if you're starting out and you have a very small budget. Okay? Because Starlet is one car that almost every mechanic can fix. It is almost like the Chibina, the Chikumi. Those cars literally never break down. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. And the Starlet, you can buy it 3 million and below, and you will still be able to drive it. You get other factors constant. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Now, a person that wants a car that doesn't consume, you'll find a young person not wanting to buy a Chikumi, even when you can get a Chikumi at the price of a Starlet, when the Chikumi is in even better condition. Some person might decide to buy a Starlet. So, but if you have your money, 3 million, 4 million, and you don't want a car that doesn't consume fuel, I always tell you, go buy a Chikumi, Toyota Chikumi. You guys know those things, those Chikumis. Buy a Chikumi. It's a 1.5cc car, or you can get yourself a Karibu. Okay, ne Karibu na yo CMB. If you find it in good condition, you get, and you drive yourself where you're going. So 10 to 15 to Gambia, you can get a Vitz. Now, I'm going to be very specific. I'm just saying the mechanics here don't know how to fix them properly. So, in actual sense, the car has no problem. We don't have the expertise to fix that car here. Okay? Don't buy Mazedas. For starters, why? Because mechanics don't know how to fix them. But also two, because those cars have no resale value in case you want to upgrade. Okay? Now, this car here, that car, let me just make sure you see it. You see that car? That's a Regius. You can also get it 10 to 15 million. Okay? Your Regius here. But if it's petrol, don't buy a petrol beyond 8 million. Because a Regius, a petrol, I told you a story of a friend of mine that went to Mbarara when fuel was still at 2,800. He went to Mbarara and it was a petrol Regius, and the car consumed 400,000 in fuel. Whoa, that's a lot, eh? That's a lot. So don't buy Regias that is petrol. Don't buy Nissan L Grand. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying our mechanics here don't know them. Ate bajjana kuba nnyo. Omanyi wabaye moloka makanika ajja kubbirako nga ne bw'onoolaga wa buli omu kubanga the cars themselves are rare, so the mechanic will cheat you knowing that you can go to 3 other mechanics and they will not have fixed that a car like that in like the past 5 years. So they will tell you simanyi bei yabyo, simanyi bei yabyo. And some of these cars, the spares are in specific shops, and you'll find that it's only that mechanic that knows where shops where they can buy spares. So you'll go to Kiseka market and even fail to find it, or if I find it expensive. So some of these cars, when I tell you don't buy them, listen to me, don't buy the Nissan Serena. Yeah, the Nissan Serena is like a Noah. Don't buy it. The L Grand is almost like a Regias. Also that, the L Grand, don't buy it. Now, if you're still you don't have a lot of money, avoid the Alphard. I know 2 people that have failed to maintain Alphards and they packed them. Alphard is quite expensive to maintain. It's very comfortable and all, but it's quite expensive to maintain. That I know people that have packed the Alphard because it needed a spare that was just too expensive to be worth it. So don't buy an Alphard if you don't have a lot of money. Today when I was having a conversation with I'm uploading the video tomorrow morning. I was having a conversation with that old man, the old man of the lorry business, and he was telling me how his decision-making process. He always thinks 2 years from now, how much will I get from this property? 2 years from now, how much will I get from this? So as you buy a car, you need to think yourself, 2 years from now, how much will people be buying this car? That's what I'm saying. So you buy a Nissan L Grand at 10 million, 2 years from now, they'll be buying it 5. These are facts. You buy a Nissan Serena at 8 million, 2 years from now, they'll be buying it 4. You buy any Mazda, 2 years from now, the value will have reduced by 2 to 4 million, by the way. And that is even if you get someone that is willing to buy that car. You get what I'm saying? So you need to be very careful as you go purchase. There is a Toyota that it's called a Toyota wheel. It's very it looks like a Tesla bot. The Toyota wheel, after here you can Google it, no jiraba. Don't buy a Toyota wheel at whatever cost. Whenever you're buying a car, ask yourself, how many people have I had looking for that particular car? And if you've not heard of people looking for that car, don't buy it. I hope I'm clear. Only buy a car when you've had people looking for it, because then you know when it's time for you to upgrade, people will buy it with open arms so that you get your money and go buy your next car. You get what I'm saying? So we were talking to this old man and he was telling me, we're going to buy a lorry for business, buy the Isuzu Elf. You see, all those are Isuzu Elves. He says the Isuzu Elf lives longer, it's cheaper to maintain and all that. However, he said the Mitsubishi Canter is faster, can go long distances. So if you want to go long distances and all, buy the Mitsubishi Canter. But if you want a car that will live long, tutu sem Stenson. I think Lucius here, Towny Young, in Agamba, it's a Stenson. Yeah, so don't buy a Toyota wheel at whatever cost. Yeah, I'm going to do a Carlo tour of Vianney. You're going to see. Yeah, I'm not going to show you my house though. Let me see. I'm somehow late for the class, but God, I'm in. However, Arthur, is it possible to detect overheating car before driving it? Yeah, it's actually possible, but that I would have to actually explain while I illustrate. It's possible normally when you start a car, in front in the bonnet, so you open the bonnet and you rest, you open the radiator, okay, and you rest. Because in a normal car, the water is supposed to run from the radiator to the engine and back to the radiator engine back. So it's supposed to be going in circles. Let me just change so that you look at me do that. You see a normal car that doesn't overheat. When you start, you open the radiator. Normally water is supposed to go in circles from the radiator, engine, The water pump pumps it to the engine. I don't know if it goes up or down. It pumps it to the engine. Then water goes through the engine, through all the places it's supposed to go, and then it comes back to the radiator. That's how water is supposed to move. But when a car overheats, when you open the radiator and you rest, no score muliro, the water will be jumping. Mu radiator muli. You get muchisani kila no garabanga gabuka. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So actually, the water doesn't go in circles the way it's supposed to go. It will actually just be jumping. That's one way for you to detect a car that overheats. Yeah. So Sans, if I've answered your question, you can tell me. I can actually try to explain a little more. Yeah. So avoid the Toyota wheel. Avoid buying the Toyota wheel because it's jakulu, and I don't want any of my followers to get headaches because of a car they bought with their own money. You get it? Yeah. So I'm going to also cover the cars for between 15 to 20 million now because nazo ziba ankadde. Kati because above 20 million obogenze mu bond. Era obo ina million abi n'ogula emmotoka ebweru, it better be a Harrier Kawundo. It better be one of those high ticket cars, the SUVs, the big ones. Or it better be a car that was bought at zero mileage nga kati ina kilometer emitwalo tugambe like 4,000 kilometers. A car that was bought by government, and you get it. No, I did not upgrade to MTN, but I bought very expensive Airtel internet and I feel bad. But so I'm going to cover the cars. Who is this? Betty. I'm going to talk about the cars for between 15 to 20 million now. See, I'm not going to create a video separate for that because 15 to 20 is still old. Because then after 20, you can simply walk into a bond and come out with a current number plate car. Yeah, you can come out with a new Paso at 20 million. Spacio new model still coming, yes, but of course it's the newer models still. There is a 2008, I think. Now, 10 to 15 those are covering this single. Wow, you can get Subarus, you can go Volkswagen. Hey, how do you feel? You feel fine? Are you sure? Should we go back to the hospital? Okay. So you can get a Mark X 10 to 15 million. You can get a Mark X. I tell you where on the 10 to 15 million Mark X inakuba number plate ngerimu UB series for Mark X. You can get a Mark 2 Grand. Still make sure the Mark 2 Grand UB series. Okay. Mark 2 musota vehicle kati awo class tujivuddemu tuli nnye. Because remember, Mark 2 Grand is ended in 2002 being manufactured. You get? You should actually not be going to Mark 2 Grand. You should be looking at other cars now. Okay? Let's start with Mark X. The only problem with Mark X is that it's a 2.4cc. I think, yeah, 2.5cc. So, although it's a VVTi engine, so it's fairly good on the fuel. Yeah. So, Kati, when as you upgrade your money, when you look 15 to 20, 10 to 15, you can even get my Corolla here in very good condition. You can even get a newer year like 2007 model, 2008. See your bond. Then, bw'obuukako weezo sente okuva kale ku 10 paka 20. I would also often a Valvematic etambuddeko on Ugandan roads, the Wish Valvematic. Of course, yes, now Valvematic is also technology, but still the Valvematic now is a brand. You know how you create something that in chukusukako. So it's going to become ngawe bali bogera ku VVTi simanya amasanyalaze mangi. Now the Valvematic is much better. You'll also be, I'm sorry, taking you back, but was Alex Ranix part of? Yes, I talked about Alex. I just didn't talk about Ranix, I think, because Ranix teziri is too popular. Era bobo gurango ina Alex ne Ranix. Alex ne Ranix, I think you should buy an Alex because Ranix tewali ajinonya. Inga ate Alex yo bajinonya. I hope I'm clear. Always buy a car ngali oli deko muntu ajinonya. Many people look for the Alexes. I'm going to open. So don't buy a Ranix when you can buy an Alex because Ranix ojatnonya ajigula ko ngatokolaki. Ngatomulaba. You get kambaise mukastense ni kange. Yeah. So buy an Alex if you have to choose between Alex and Ranex. Okitegeera twiste mu kasitenseni. Yes, Alex and Ranex ziri mu 10 to 15. Naye tezibeera number plate empya. Those cars are just overpriced. I don't know why they are overpriced. So you cannot get an Alex for between 10 to 15 ngeri UB series. It will be UA. Oyinza nogifuna ngeri mu U18. But don't sulk, it will still be in good condition. Most of the people that drive the Alexes, the Ranexes are corporates. They drive them from Tinda. Then he goes to, let's say, NSSF building, Bank of Uganda. Or they don't really have those long trips that they do. And most of the times, up country. Sijerega, njogere bitufu. You get, so don't worry, it will still be in good condition. Most of those people bavuga town service. They are not like the others of this world that stretch their cars. You get, eh? But in my opinion, but anyway, it depends on what you're going to use the car for. Let me keep that opinion to myself. You see that double cabin? It's UAM. It's old, but those cars have resale value. Yeah. Double cabins. And also people are looking for them constantly. You get what I'm saying? So hopefully they don't get about warakokara matendo mulambule. Kati proti zawo no muziraba ziri mu million 25 ezawano. And people are building, by the way. Buli lunaku baabo bazimba. People are building every day. I think the biggest challenge with our country is the transport system. But if you had a transport system and I'll tell you a story. I've worked with Bazungu, and most of the Bazungu I've worked with, you can find that he lives in a place like Masaka, but he rides a bicycle from his home to the train station. Train in emuvuga nemujje Masaka nemulete Kampala, natambule gemuleta paka ku train station yafe ye Kampala. Then he walks from the train station to work. Then in the evening after work he takes a train to Masaka. You get, so most of our problems are not actually ours. The problems are with the government. Our government doesn't admire good things, or it doesn't wish us well. So the transport system is not our problem. If we had a train station, I'd be driving my car to probably Chigogwa or Matuga, and then I take a train to town, and then in the evening I find my car there. And you know, when these things actually come, you even create more employment opportunities, more businesses, because now someone will actually create a parking lot at the train station and people will be paying them. Then more security guards will be needed, more people to work in the trains. You get what I'm saying? And then even the pollution of the environment will be less, because kati nze nja kuba sivuga kilomita 85 mvuga kilomita 5 okuva ewange paka train station. You get, so most of the transport problems we have are not ours. Once you understand that we only need visionary leadership to actually change things, you stop sulking. No lekera okwagala wenyige Nansana. You get, because most of the people that live in Nansana are trying to dodge the fact that they are supposed to afford land where I am. Ozirengere nyumba eziri eri zetanagwa. So that's my neighborhood. Here I'm in a different village because I also live in a different village. So those houses that you look eziri eri up the hill, nze nsula ku lusozi eri waggulu. Nze nsula ku lusozi eri waggulu. Muzirengere nyumba ezo. Of course, there are some people that had started building rentals here, but then with time, I think they realized that rentals might not work this way. And some people have actually transformed them back into houses. And then we have an opportunistic person that built a school. He built a primary school for people who can. Yeah. Yeah, so we're still talking cars between. Betty wanted to know if she can get a Spacio. Now, Betty, I don't know what you're looking for in a car, or whether you just want a Spacio. If you just want a Spacio, this is my recommendation. Don't spend 20 million on a Spacio in the bond, because a motor can probably say as it, and you may actually go to the bond in a Spacio telling you. because now people are bringing more trendier cars. You get, people are bringing better cars, they are bringing new technology, they are now bringing hybrids. People are aiming at bringing hybrids now. You get. Oh guys, today I've used another road. Last time we used another road, so today I've just used this one because my son was sweating because of the heat, so I wanted to use a road that doesn't have a lot of dust. That's why we have passed this way. Yeah, but still we are going to the same place. They will get out and then I'll take you on a tour. Yeah, so Betty, my advice would be, if you want a Spacio, buy a used Spacio in UB series at around 16 million. When the time comes and there is another car that is better than a Spacio, you can actually go to the bond and buy it. I don't know if I'm clear, Betty. That's my advice, because you can buy a Spacio now from the bond and 2 years later and go Jikoye, and you find that at that time there is a better car, but then you'll find that people don't want to buy a Spacio from you because yagwako. But if you don't buy it so expensively, no jikuma bulungi, obo ina sente zoyongerako nga wazitereka na kugula Spacio yeno, you get what I'm saying. So that's my opinion. Kwa Spacio egenda kutuuka nga techajirako ddala, and people will move on. You get, because people are moving on from Nuwa. You remember when people like Toyota Nuwa? People are totally moving on from the Nuwas. Again, that very soon we'll be seeing people driving Velfire. Muji with the of Velfire. I think after the Nuwa they started innovating. The Velfire is whoa. There is a 2021 Nuwa. Do you guys know that there is a 2021 Starlet? There is a 2021 Starlet. It's cost 70 million. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So Betty, I think opinion yango jifunye, but you can get 15 to 20 million. Yes, you can get a Spacio UB series. You can actually get it around 16 nga eringa UBB. Just have your 17 million cash. Gogambe njagala Spacio new model UBC UBD. Go CDK. And you let the brokers actually start looking for that car. But just zikuleetera, and then you start saying you get. Yeah, but it also depends on bond and you start your car. You can go and buy it, although I'd advise against it if you hope to upgrade in time soon. Oyinza okugula emmoroka nekufukira ekirala. Sibeta nenyawo. Ndonyi nyawo. Ngagga mulwadde. Ajja kuba bulungi. Ajja kuba bulungi. So you don't want to buy a car that kuchalo mulabyo, we are even friendly fene waffe. So you guys, this is my car village. Okay, I said sigenda kulaga nyumba yange. Ojja kutya ogambe my god. So tuli ku Kalama 10 now. All these plots are empty actually, you guys. Abata nagura, but these are 15, 20 chapa mungalo, 15 to 20 million, depending on where. If you're buying from a main road in Gabo, because this is the main estate road. If you're buying from a main estate road like this one, you'll buy 20 million. Then you'll be buying about 15 million. Arthur, give me the options, sir. It's what I'm looking for, because I work in Tororo and it's hard for me moving on a border every weekend to Paris, mostly when it rains, crossing Manafambali. Okay, Sons, can you try and make it a little more clear? Options of what? From the Alexandronics. I don't know how deep that deep how deep Manafwa is. How deep is that thing? Because if it's very deep, then you might want to look at an SUV. Okubanga, you don't pass through water. You get. So you might want to look at an SUV like a RAV4, like a Harrier. But if the water is not too deep, then you can. At Lexus, yes, I find that Lexus is overpriced. Hi, Dennis. Yeah, I find that Lexus is overpriced. Don't just it depends on what you want. If you're the kind of person who yagala kuvuga brand, you don't care you don't care how pricey it is, you can go for a Lexus. But I find that the Lexus, okay, what Toyota did is they created the luxury version of a Harrier, and the luxury version was the Lexus. They just created luxury versions. You see how they created the Mark II, and then from the Mark II they created the Chaser, and then they created the Crown. So that's what they did when they create a Lexus. It's just a luxury version of any car. So people have actually started picking up. They have started coming to construct this way because, of course, transport is getting a little easier and all that. Yeah. So Lexus is just luxury. If you're looking for luxury, go on and buy a Lexus. But if you're looking for something that people will buy quickly because it will not be overpriced, because now Lexus wanaji kuseera, now ujja kwagala okuseera ate bw'onooseera, people will not buy your car. You get? So you guys, you see all these gardens, these are plots that people bought naye nga tebannazimba. So normally when you buy a plot, for the guys that have done that before, people come to you and they want to plant things in your plots. If you allow them, they plot and they also look out for you. So that's the wali muntu ajja kuzimba mu plot yo. You get? So that's what happens. So majority of these plots have owners, but because they are not ready to construct, of course some of them batekamu sente zaabwe batunde later. Ati ene waffe tuli 15, 20. I've not heard of a plot of 25 million. No, I've not. But all the plots this way are chapa, titled land, not Kabaka land, if you know what I mean. Because Kabaka land doesn't have titles, it's Ndagano. So I'm going to show you, I just want to have to go across because the road the other side is bad. I just want to show you as I conclude my video. You'll not get parcels at and it will be a current number plate. It will be a current number. The parcel set a new number plate, but not very new. But you know, at 15 to 20, if you have 20 million, you can go to the bond and bargain and get a car that most people will buy at 22 and you'll buy it at 20. You get car from out this way, because then you can go to the bond and bargain. Yeah, but you can actually get a car from the bond. You get what I'm saying? So so now if you advance from 15 to 20, leave old model codes totally zivire code dala. Now start looking for new years. When you have 15 to 20 million, start looking for years 2006, 2007. Okay? If you have 15 million to 20, don't look at the years 2005 and below. Don't, because then ojakuba oli mukusula sente zo okitegeera, because time is going to come when people don't buy cars that are below 2010 models. So at that time, if you have a car that is 2001, 2002, you'll be driving a vintage, and you don't want to be a person that bought a vintage at 18 million okitegeera. So I think Betty Wafuna, if you're going to buy a car, make sure you buy 2006, 2007, 2008. Because I see the budget you're talking about, Betty, is actually a big budget, 15 to 20 million. So never wish, make sure you're buying the 2007, 2008, 2007, 2008. You get? So now the Raktis, most of the Raktis that are on the market, of course there is a 2005 version of the Raktis. Don't buy it. Don't buy 2005. Make sure you buy this one. This is we are in the Zion Estate. Zion Estate. It's Zion Estate. What's the place? Mbugu Star City. The version, actually the estate is called Star City, Zion Star City. Yeah, they have a very good plan for the estate. It's just that the transport, I think that one of the reasons why the estate is not yet full of people is because of the transport system. Because if you don't have your own car, transport can be very daunting. There is one taxi actually, it leaves at 5:30. but it picks people from their homes. Like for me, if I use that taxi, they pick me from my gate and they bring me back to my gate at around 10. Now you find that can be inconveniencing for people that have families. Okay, if you have a family and then you have to wait for a taxi to bring you home at 10 and 11, so what time are you going to be spending with your kids? And actually, let me just show you this apartment block. This is another Stenson. So so he's going to be selling that house by house. There are quite a number of the original plan is not very clear, but individual houses in there. I think if it fails, then he'll make it a school. Normally that's what they do when it fails. If you look at even the Homisdalen buildings, if you know where Homisdalen is, even what Kampala quality, if you look at the buildings they put up, they can quickly transform them into apartments, and they can as well be schools. You get what I'm saying? So this is an corporates are unlikely to buy. I'm going to call the neighborhood. You can actually get it, not UBM. It will be an older number plate, but you could actually get it very easily. So normally, if estate guys are bringing you, they'll bring you from this side that is already full. The estate had 2 phases. Now you see phase 1. These were the first occupants of this estate, and normally when the estate guys are taking pictures, they take pictures of these houses here. You get? So this is Zion Estate. So majority of the people that built this way, actually, the nyumba zawe zagwa, they entered like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Yeah, this was phase 1. This was phase 1 of the estate. Yeah. So this place is called Zion Estate, Star City in Mbogu. The estate is called Star City. And I think when Zion Estate had just opened this estate, I think they sold even plots at 2 million. That's a long time ago. They even used to have car races in this estate. For about zempaka muteko okubeno mwali muzeeko okulaba emmotoka z'empaka this is the place. I find that it's very affordable. Looking at Gaia, the pricing of Gayazalo Road, the pricing of Hoima Road, the pricing of Ginger Road, this is actually very, very well priced. So that's the neighborhood. There is a house I like in particular. I don't know if you can see it from here. I like it. Because of time. Remember, my son is sick. I just want to be close to him because tomorrow will be work, and I'm going to go very early in the morning. I want to be able to notice how he's doing, and yeah. So this is the neighborhood. The biggest problem this way is actually transport. So neighborhood ogira kati ate plot eza side yeno zo zaate ziri mu million 25 ndowooza zitandikira ku 2 because the side this side, the phase 1 is actually very much more developed than where I am. Even the empty plots, the neighbors themselves already bought them. Kati bagala kola expansion, which is not on my side of the estate. We have one taxi in here that leaves at 5:30. I want to avoid buying a car and end up adding more for going to garage every day. That's why my budget is like that. No problem. But Betty, I've been saying this time and again, if you choose a car properly, even old cars don't go to the garage every day. Like me, I'm constantly on the move every day. I don't even get time for the garage. Even if the car was breaking down, I would not have time to be there in the garage. Yet I know people that have new cars, nenga babera mu garage almost all the time. So just make sure you choose the car properly, because also no bond. I'm sure you've heard of the saying that a moto kaguba mukisa. emoroka ebanga, sorry for the ladies, zino njogera z'abasajja. Yeah, be good. Yeah, so guys, nziruke nzireyo ebikubo byaffe mubiraba. Yeah, but that's the Zion Estate. Abagala okumanya where it is. It's Zion Estate Matuga. But we have a lot of estates this way. There is Jomai, there is Zion, there are a lot of estates. Estate companies got, like the Zion guy bought about 900 acres and then he cut plots and then he started selling. You get it? So, and I told you one of the reasons we bought this way was because of the organization. I had a house before and it wasn't in a very organized environment. So I promised myself that it did not matter where I buy the land. If I could afford to go back home every day, it had to be organized. And with my budget, I could not afford to buy land in Chira or Namugongo. You get, but I could afford to buy land this way. So that's how I bought it. Kakati, you see that empty place there? That's where they plan to put the Star City. They put a taxi park. They are going to put a cinema hall. Those recreations, all the recreation that you need to have in a community, supermarkets and all. In fact, I think that land was sold on temporary basis. They give you a time about 20 years for you to develop the land. If you don't develop that land in 20 years, they take the land back. Yeah, so that area that's where they plan to put the Star City. This entire place. So they sell and put shopping mall, blah blah blah, all those things. But of course, it's not the estate that's going to put there. They want private investors like you buy, for example, 2 plots and you build whatever they want to their plan and you put it there. But I think even the developers themselves, about 1,500 people, because it has about what's this question? And normally I run from here. I run 10 kilometers every generation. Forget the powdered batteries. Don't use powdered batteries. Why? Powdered batteries have expiry. Powdered batteries are created to live for 12 months. After 12 months, it's God that has helped you if it survives beyond a year. But these ordinary Uganda batteries, and I recommend, and I'm not paid at all, because I've used Uganda batteries for a very long time. They normally give you over 6 months warranty, that if your battery breaks down within 6 months, you can take it back and they give you a new one. So I recommend that you buy the ordinary batteries. Powdered batteries are meant to expire in 12 months. They are meant to expire in 12 months. Katinze, I'm coming for advice of how to build on minimal budget. Kubanga embala yezamu nyama. Nze embala nnyo baba, embala nnyo. I even have payment vouchers ewaka. Yeah, but no botabala tomarako, you get it? You need to know how much you spend, you need to know all those things. So, and nene wafa abantu batandise okuzimba kizaamu amaanyi. Oziraba? Where's the other house? Ngiyiseeko oyo y'omu ku kusookayo. Is it clear, that house? That one, eri mu kasooli. Yeah, he has a very big plot, so yasimba ne kasooli, aina walundira enkoko and all that. Now, let me tell you guys, one of the reasons people buy from this way, of course, that's not the reason I bought. Abamu kibaguze na abayagala agule like 2 to 3 plots. Ewamu atekewo ebiyumba by'enkoko so that he can rear enkoko, over goats, over piggery, and all that. I just logged on, but please kindly talk about IST. I want to buy one, but I don't know if it's worth it because I'm one tall dude. Okay, Segawa. The IST is worth it. Chobomanya, the IST is one of those reliable cars. It's steady, mumu, Chobomanya, and it really never breaks down. I think it has the one NZ engine, like the one I have in this Corolla. It's the same engine that is in the Alex. It's the same engine that is in the Probox. So just know that this is where we cornered last time when we were coming in here, when we were twice before I took you for a tour. Yeah, So I'll just change this to look at me now because we are concluding. Yeah. So the IST is a very sturdy car. Just buy it. Make sure to bakusera because I find it to be overpriced. It depends on how much you're looking at, but you can't get a good IST for below 10 million. Tejja kuba nungi. It will be between 10 to 15. Currently started doesn't share with any car. Bakatono nyoe. It shares probably with a Glanza. It can share some spares with Toyota Chikumi, and both those cars are kind of getting extinct. Yeah. So the IST, I would say that depending on what you're looking for, the IST can be worth your money. Okay. It is between 10 to 20 million depending on the number plate. But I've been saying this and again, time and again. The IST, the Alex, okay, those cars are very, very, very overpriced, and I find it to be unfair. So I'm home. I find them to be very overpriced, which is not fair. So, but if you want the IST, go ahead and buy it. You will enjoy it. Normally when you buy a car that you want, you enjoy it, you feel relaxed. So mtima go gukakana, at least obavuze motoka gyokolachi gyoyagala, go ahead and buy it. But if you're untold dude, remember, you see the space that you have, you're sharing this space with the person that is sitting behind you. So chitegeza, if you're tall, you're going from time to time to want to push the car to this level, and if you push it to this level, muntu atude mabega agenda kuba very uncomfortable. So you have to put that in mind. And normally that's why I think tall people end up buying SUVs, because SUVs give you more space and you get a lot of space, and also n'abantu abali emabega nabo bafuna space. So don't forget that as you buy. Nti omuntu omuwanvu bw'obumotoka obutono walibadde ogezaako n'obwesonyiwa n'ogula ku motoka ennene ku nti abantu basobola ofuna space emabega bw'oba opushinze, because me I'm not tall. I'm like 5'11", and sometimes when I want to drive very comfortably, I end up squeezing the people behind. Can't imagine if you were you seated here 6 foot or 7 foot seated in this car. So normally awinza okutunako mu motoka ezikuwa space, or probably there are cars that have seats that are up, like the Raum. I think even the Spacio has seats that are up. That's why I told people go for RAV4s, because already omoto guba waguru weguti, so it takes off some of the space of your legs, so that when you finally actually spread your legs out, then you don't have to take some of the space behind. So you need to think about that as well. But it's a good car, it's worth the money, but make sure you don't buy. Make sure you don't buy a car that is highly priced. Dennis, can you help me and find for me a car to buy in case I don't know where to buy from? I can call people, but let me just push this out there, guys. I'm not a broker. You get it? Normally when someone says they want they expect me to actually know where the cars are. I'm not a broker. And sometimes I suggest that you actually know where the cars are, and then not journey to Uganda or to Kebeda. But I know a number of brokers that I can call. I know brokers in all price ranges though. I know brokers that can get you a car at I know brokers that can get you a car at 3 million, 2 million, 4 million, up to 25 million. I know a broker for all price ranges. You get, so I can make calls. I actually make the calls when you're there. I make the calls when you're there, and then we get options. Then Kubuza, should we go look at this? Should we go look at this? Should we go look at this? I personally don't know where these cars are, so I just make calls and together and together. But if normally when you're looking for a car, I advise that you actually also look for cars. Kubida ba broker bomanyi or bagamba I want to buy a car in this price range jinfunire akugambe the car is here, and then you come and tell me netugenda tukola ki netuzitunulako. But trust me, in Kampala you cannot fail to get a car if you have money. That's why I tell you that even the people that have 2 million will get a car. You get. So what car can share? But Tazan, don't worry, when you buy your Starlet you will enjoy it. those cars, as long as you drive it responsibly, they really don't really break down, and mechanics know how to make it work. Okay. The IST is the IST is okay. Just consider the height, that your height and the people behind. Yeah. And guys, don't be discouraged. If you want to buy a new car, go buy it. You can also get a Corolla, the newer model of this one. You can even get a 2012, I think, but it will be an older number plate. Now, kakati, you guys, I want you to know that these things they tell us, Smanya, you go to the bond and buy a car, in a low mileage. Just know those guys know how to rewind the mileage. The guy brings a car that has mileage 200,000 kilometers and he rewinds it to 40,000 kilometers. They have machines that can rewind mileage. So when you go to buy cars from the bond, sometimes mileage just on your way, and then you just make sure that you inspect because jagule motoka nga mileage iri wansi na ye ngate motoka nkadde because they rewinded the mileage. You get 15 to 20. Just no, but I've always told you 15 to 20 you have a lot of options. 15 to 20 oba mulodi. 15 to 20 weronda. 15 to 20 you can get a Kawundo in very good condition. Now I realize the Kawundos have one problem, interior, the door panels. Door panels zifa mangweza Kawundo. So when you're buying, you have to also look out for that, because of na repairing the interior just dies, the door panels just die, and they take them to be repaired because they are not good. You get. So don't be deceived. But at between 15 to 20, you have a lot of money. Hybrid cars are the best. Leave the BMWs, my brother, if you don't have a lot of money. You get. Thanks a lot, Arthur, because I have been having 3 options in mind. IST. Leave the. Okay, if they have the IST, Sam, if you have the IST, Alex, Primo. Okay? Buy the Primo. Because IST and Alex all have resale value, but the Primo has resale value, my brother. The Primo, the Primo is like the Jesus of cars. You say I want money today, you will get it today in that Primo, the new model. So of all those cars, I think the Primo will give you more leg room. Of course, being a tall dude, the Primo will give you more status as a tall dude, because the Alex is okay still. But the Primo will still give you the status. I'm sure that you also want the status. And also the resale value of the Primo is very high. So can you go for the Primo if you have those 3 options? And also Primo also so what do you say about the hybrid cars and electric? Hybrid, hybrid you buy, but BMW, my brother. I'm not saying that the BMWs are bad, but our mechanics here bagenda kuta mi motoka. If you buy a BMW, mechanics first of all don't know how to fix BMWs. But secondly, mechanics about the mechanics that fix those rare cars, German cars, they are robbers. Bakondo. You get, That's why you find that a person that has a BMW or a Mercedes Benz, they also have a Toyota. Because if the BMW dies, mechanic anayagala muba, he will park it at home. And he drives his Toyota as he's looking around for the right price. Italia kumubba. You get what I'm saying? Okay, this one left water running. Let me just turn it off. Yeah. So if you can avoid buying those German cars, don't avoid it. But if you have some money, buy a German car and buy a Toyota. The German car should not be your daily drive. The German car should be something you drive once a week, or when you're going to parties, or when you're going where you need the status at. Because most people that drive German cars, bazivuga for status, in the Vuga Gundi, you get. But generally, hybrid cars are good. First of all, because they save fuel. Because if you drive a 2000cc hybrid, I'm after bonywanga urukumwe bisatu. You get. So you drive a 2000cc hybrid, but the fuel you're using is what a person that drives a 1.3cc car is using. So hybrid, highly recommended. The way the hybrid works is that under the seats they have batteries. And what the engine does, The engine charges the batteries, and when the batteries are full, the engine turns off, and then you start driving on the batteries. That's how the hybrid save fuel. So if you can afford to actually buy a hybrid, go on and buy it, and then you will get the benefits. I'm debating whether to buy a hybrid or a Toyota Cavera car, brand new 0 mileage. Why? The hybrid, I find that if I drive 30,000 shillings in fuel every day, and I get a hybrid, I'll be driving 10K. So that means I'm saving 20,000 every day. 20,000 every day for a month, that's around 600, right? So it means this car will be saving me around 7 million, 200,000 every year, which is good in fuel. So I find that hybrid, niwe manje guze million ya tano, these other normal cars are about 35. In 3 years, I will have recouped the money. Yeah, I'm going to make, someone promised to take me to a hybrid, but they did not. I'm going to be forced to actually go to the bond or do a review based on knowledge that I've researched. It might actually almost be the same. Yeah. So, Wolfie, if you can afford a hybrid, it's better buy it because you're going to save a lot. You get. I hope I'm clear. So, you guys, do you have any more questions? If you don't, Arthur, I'm abroad, would like to get a car before I come, but the issue is I don't have a TIN number. Is it possible? You will need to actually be here physically in Uganda to get a TIN, because it's free. But if you're abroad, people will ask for money, for a lot of money, which is not worth it. And normally you get a TIN number in a day or two. So don't worry, you'll get your TIN number when you come here, and then you get your car transferred to you. And also remember to enter TIN number if you have a sister of yours or a wife, someone you trust in Wegala, for the car to be transferred there and then. You can always just transfer the car to their names, and then when you process your TIN number, you get it. Or you can come back, and as you look for the car, the day you come back, you start the process of getting a TIN, and then by the time we get a car, you have a TIN number. You get what I'm saying? But you need to know that once you get a TIN number, it's called a tax identification number. This means that now you're a taxpayer. They'll start asking you for yearly returns, annual returns. You get annual returns is you have made 30 million profit, 30 million this year. So after the 30 million you made, you used how much? If you made 30 million and you used 25, the 5 million that is remaining is taxable. You need to pay 30% off of that to URA as tax. That's income tax. Me, I already pay income tax. My companies pay income tax as well. So you need to understand that until once you get a TIN number, you're a taxpayer. Sooner or later, they'll start asking you to file returns. So it's not just about getting a car. So when you come, normally that's why I tell you, me I even have vouchers at home, because I'll tell you I made 40 million or 50 million this year, and I spent 49 million 500,000. So 500,000 is 30%, because you have receipts and vouchers. You get, but it's good to pay tax, by the way. That's how we develop our country. It's just that our government, with the taxes that we pay, would have a train station that goes from Nakasongola to Kampala. That I live in a place that looks as if it's far, but it's not. Here, I'll be driving to a train station, and then I go. Tax avoidance? No. But if I spend the money and I have receipts, like I said, I have vouchers at home. So everything they buy, I don't write in the vouchers alone. You get? Even the house manager writes in the vouchers. You get? So I'm just saying that you need to pay tax. Tax is good to pay. So once you get a TIN number, start paying tax, and do that religiously, because you'll get an opportunity one time, and then they'll ask you for a tax. What do they call it? Tax clearance certificate. Tax clearance certificate is that certificate that URA gives you to say that, okay, this person pays tax. If you have had a TIN for the past 5 years and you have not been paying tax, the day you need a tax clearance certificate, URA will say, okay, totuwadde taxes for 5 years, obaddenga okola emitwalo 22, kitegeeza 30% of emitwalo 2 for the first 5 years, ogenda osasule mu bank ojja ofuna tax clearance certificate. Me, I've gotten tax clearance certificate more than I think once, so I know how it works. I pay tax, by the way. You guys pay tax. It's important that we develop our country. When the greedy people have a centers of agenda, and we get a good government or a good group of people that make a government, then probably we'll get a lot of development. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Yes, Tazan, you need to pay taxes. Tazan, olaye katosasulanga ku musolo musajja gwe okujjako gosasulira mu mafuta. Eh? Yeah, so you guys, I have to go. Thank you very much for being here. It has been a very good time. Tomorrow, abagala okutandika a business ya lore. You want to buy a canter, you want to buy an elf and give it to someone to drive. I have a very surprising video for you tomorrow. Yeah, so let me just go through you guys. Martha, thank you for being number one today. Betty, thank you. Steve, Samuel Grace, Michael, Sands, Chris Da Vinci, Steve Barros, Vianney, yeah, Tazan, Dennis, Seth, Mr. Lucius, Sam Segawa, yeah, Wolfie. So you guys, thank you very much for being here. Yeah, Ambrose, thank you guys for being here. Hey, Aban, how do you feel now?
Fine.
You feel fine? Good. So you guys, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. Don't forget to share this channel with your friends. Share the videos that you think will be helpful to them. Yeah, and don't forget I sell tracking devices. Yeah, I'm also a marketing professional. I help businesses actually increase the number of customers they have. I help businesses create sustainable business, sustainable marketing systems. Yeah, and those sustainable marketing systems are meant to make sure that customers, to running out of customers is like keeping water flowing. Yeah, customer service. I also run trainings, digital marketing trainings as well. Yeah, yeah. So don't forget to give me business. Tracking device amitwala asatu mu etaano. Yeah. Nti tujiteekamu, you can stop your car with your phone, you can call the device and hear what the people inside are saying and all that. So you guys, thank you very much. See you tomorrow or the day after that. When we come to talk with Council Yunus, we're going to be talking about insurance, comprehensive, third party, and all those things. Okay, thank you very much, guys. Have a very good evening. Ciao.